Baby, I don't like it in here.
Yo, what's the matter with you?
Where did you go?
Wild. Put your soul into it. Wild. What's going on around you?
It started in 2016. I lost my brother, and through the grieving process, a year later, I started connecting with him. He started sending me signs, and I thought I was going crazy. Then I started reading about the afterlife, and I had previous knowledge about my life path and my destiny because I learned about numerology in my late teens. And I learned that I am here for a higher calling. My purpose is definitely to connect with the spirit world and bring the light.
And welcome everyone to Haunting Live Podcast this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like what you see here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also the like button. It does help us out quite a bit. We have noticed a bunch of new subscribers lately on the channel, so that's wonderful. Thank you very much for that. And don't forget to also follow us on our other social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. We're over there also. So follow us over there for all the posts that we do for you guys. Well, welcome to the show today. We do have a very special guest joining us, Kaila. We welcome her to the show. Readings by Kaila, and she is psychic medium Kaila Garcia. So let's bring her on today. Hi, Kaila. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking your time to talk to us today about your journey through mediumship, and also you do oracle cards and intuitive as well, so you're pretty busy with all that you do. But first of all, tell us how you got into mediumship. What drew you into the field?
Okay, so about 8.5 years ago, my mom passed away suddenly from cancer, and I was 22. And the thought of her being gone and like not ever being able to communicate with her again was just like, I couldn't fathom it. So I started looking into mediumship, and I found a local medium. I'm from Vancouver, BC. So I found a local medium who was doing a demonstration in Squamish, which is halfway between Vancouver and Whistler. And so a demonstration is when it was live in person, and she had about 30 people there. And so you're not sure if your loved one's going to come through, but they may or may not. So I was sitting in the back row, and I had 2 out of my 3 sisters there with me and a friend, and my mom came through like the third person. And it blew me away. And then I believed, I wasn't a skeptic any longer. I was like so excited to know that like she was still around and she had seen things since she had passed. And that kind of spiraled me onto my spiritual journey. And I started reading spiritual books, and then I ended up taking a card reading course. And then I started practicing on all my friends, and they're all like, these are so accurate. And then I kind of just had like a little side business for my card readings. And then because I got busy, I had kids, I'd met a husband, and I had kids. And so in between there, it was kind of like I wasn't fully delved into my business. And then I went on a retreat about 2 years ago, almost now, where I went to the retreat to give card readings to the women who went on the retreat. And during one of my readings, a spirit came in, and it was one of the girls' best friend. And it was really, she was crying, I was crying, because I was like, I didn't know I could do this. And then every single reading after that, I could feel spirit. So I would ask permission for my card, my clients if a spirit comes through, are you open? And so I started practicing that way. And then I ended up joining like a mediumship circle group of women who are mediums or psychics. And I practiced and learned a whole bunch. And then last January, I came out on my Instagram and said, I not only do card readings, I now offer mediumship readings. So now I've been doing it for about a year. Yeah.
That's wonderful. You were able to use something negative, like a passing of a close family member, to use your abilities and grow your abilities. So do you feel that she helped you a lot in the ways of growing your abilities, or did you kind of feel growth after that happened?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I don't think, because I know mediumships can take a long time to develop, and I'm always developing and I'm always learning new things. But the fact that I'm able to have clients and be able to connect to the loved ones very easily after only doing it for 2 years while having a baby, so like not like I'm doing it all the time. I feel like my mom has really helped guide me on the journey, helped me have like this natural development, because it felt and came very natural. And I know that sometimes that's not always the case, or they say you should have a certain amount of practices before you can go professional, but I just have felt like it just came so fast and easy to me. And I feel like I have my mom to thank for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it does take some people different time lengths to develop their journey. So everybody's journey is different. And that's sort of what the show is about, trying to bring out what happened to you in your own personal journey of developing your mediumship. So what happened then after that, then after you started developing? What was your next step in your development?
Well, yeah, so I started offering, like asking if they were willing to accept like a spirit to come through. And if they were, then I kind of like practiced the mediumship skills on my like intuitive reading clients. And then I started practicing on like friends. And then I joined a circle of women who, so there was lots of classes, and like they would have like every month there would be like a new theme to learn about different things. And every week you can sign up for practice readings. So it's like an equal exchange of energy. So I would give a reading and they would give a reading, and I just kept doing them. And I was planning on signing up for they have a program, but I ended up not signing up, because every time I talked to one of my partners, I said, I'm thinking about signing up. And then after my reading, they said, I don't think you need to. And I'm like, oh, wow, really? And then I actually started doing demonstration readings. So I do those also over Zoom. Mm-hmm.
So did you feel that you had like a guide sort of pushing you down your path at that point already then? Did you feel sort of a little more advanced than maybe some of the other people?
Yeah, sometimes I was like shocked that I could read so well, even though they had done the course and I hadn't, which is why I kind of felt like my mom was helping me. Yeah, I've even connected to some spirits where I've given a reading, and the person was like, oh, that person just passed away 2 weeks ago. And I was like blown away, because I heard 2, but I thought it was 2 months ago, because I knew that I could tell that they were new, but I felt like it was 2 months ago, because normally 2 weeks is like really soon, to speak to someone in spirit. I've also had recently on 2 occasions where they're like, I've had so many mediumship readings. I've always wanted my grandpa to come through, and he never came through. And then I was the first one to channel him. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like what an honor. So I don't know what it is, but I feel like it just came naturally to me. So I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
No, totally, for sure. Some people have trouble connecting with the other side and connecting with spirit when they're trying to do mediumship, but for you, it seems to have come pretty quickly. So that's great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What sort of experiences have you had since then? What has kind of taken place in your life and in your mediumship path since you started having these connection with spirit? Has there been something that's really stood out to you as really important to you, or?
Yeah, so it's definitely, I feel like I this year especially, or like last year in January, I felt like this is my path, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So after I had a daughter in 2020, my second child, I could have gone back to work after mat leave. In Canada, it's a year. So I didn't go back to work. I decided to like go full force with my business. And I really started like being present on my Instagram, and I amped up my website, and I just really wanted to try to, get the word out there that this is what I'm doing. every month it's slowly picking up, and I'm finally like feel like I have like a business now, and it's like so exciting because that's all I ever wanted for years with my card business. But now I've maybe mediumship was the way I was supposed to get this ball rolling. Yeah.
Yeah, it helps for sure if you can combine both of your passions that you have for either the card readings or the intuitiveness and do both those together. Have you found that? Have you found that people have been supportive of you and helping you through this? Like, how has your family's reaction been to you taking this as a full-time career?
My dad and my sisters, and they've been supportive. They're kind of like, wow, how can you do this? This is so cool. Most of all of my friends, like there was a time where, I was worried about telling people, but now I just, even if I'm at the park with my kids and someone's like, what do you do for work? I literally just say I'm a psychic medium. And I feel like I either get a reaction that's, oh my gosh, that's so cool, or they probably think I'm weird, but I just I just don't care anymore because it's just like what I want to do. But yeah, my family's been supportive of me doing this. My grandma thought I was crazy, and she thinks I'm crazy, but I feel like the older generations aren't as open to this. And I always say when they pass away, they will know the truth. So I can't change their mind right now.
No, the older generations is kind of stuck in their ways. They don't want to change and they don't want to accept any type of change. I find that as well.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to talk to them about paranormal stuff or anything like that's different that's out there. They don't open their mind to. So yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
you might be talking to them soon enough anyways. So
Yeah.
they might be on the other side. So do you find that though? Do you find that it's hard to talk to certain groups of people about what you do, or is it more been a positive response to talking to people?
It's been a positive response, except for, anyone that I know that, well, I don't really know that many people that are super religious, but like my husband's grandma is religious, and I heard a comment that she actually thinks I'm talking to demons. So I guess that like religious people have different beliefs on what mediums actually do. And I didn't really realize that until I became a medium, and then I was like, oh, people really think that? Like I was shocked, but for the most part, it's been very positive. Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are some, I guess, bad apples when you talk to people about this kind of topic. They don't understand it, or they don't want to understand it, or they don't have an open enough mind to want to even start talking about it. So hopefully with shows like ours here, Haunting Live, and other shows that talk to mediums, it will open up people's mind a little bit, I hope.
Yeah. That's amazing that, yeah, there's podcasts now and interviews and YouTube that people can watch and learn and see how it's not scary. And I love turning skeptics into non-skeptics, like, yeah.
Have you had any experiences with that then? Have you had a really heavy skeptical person come to you and be like, I don't believe any of this, I don't like what you do, and you turned them around? Or
You know what? I've never had anyone come to me like front on and tell me they're a skeptic, but I have had after the reading being like, I did not think that person was going to come through. I did not think you were going to be able to do what you did. And then hearing that has been like, oh wow, like I love that. But I think it would be pretty hard if I had someone come in right away and say that they were very skeptical, because that just makes it so much harder. And you can only give what the spirit says, right? So and they have to be open-minded and think of all the ways that could relate. Like if I say the letter R and then their name doesn't start with an R, some people who are a skeptic would be like, nope, like that's not right. But they might not think, oh, both of their kids' names start with an R, or their last names, and like they're not open to all the avenues of like the evidence that I'm bringing and like looking at how it could work or how it could match. Yeah.
yeah, with the cases like those, are your clients that have that kind of mentality when they start talking to you for a session, like you're up against the wall right away? It's like, is it really hard to break through sometimes to people like that?
Yeah, I haven't had anyone who's like been hard enough where I've had to like turn them away. So it's been okay so far. But if that happened, I obviously would say like, obviously we're not a match. And I wouldn't read for someone who was doing something like that. Yeah, but it's been fine so far. I've been able to attract a lot of great clients. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about your clients then day to day next. What is the most common topic that you talk to your clients about? Like, what type of session do they request most from you? Is it the intuitive side, or is it the oracle readings, or what type of service do you mostly offer for people?
So I offer like the psychic readings and then the mediumship readings. I do actually find that I get more people signing up for psychic sessions. Um, Probably because psychic sessions you could get done all throughout the year, whereas mediumship, you're probably not going to do that all year long. You might do like once a year or once every 6 months, depending on who you have on the other side, right? Um, the psychic readings, like I get people who will just come and say, show me what comes up. And then an area of their life will come up and we'll delve deeper into that. Or I welcome them to ask me questions. Sometimes it's like they'd need clarity in an area of their life, whether it's like relationships or finances or health or um, career. So that's usually like pick a topic sometimes and we pull cards, and then I get psychic downloads on what they can do to um, help them or what might come up, etc. There's so many things that you can do in a psychic session. Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots you can do depending on what they ask for, right? So it's like, what's the most common thing that they ask for these days? Is it mostly about relationship, or is it about career
I
or
honestly
future,
get
or?
I get career a lot. Yeah, I get career a lot and like clarity in a certain area of their life if they've like made a change, and like the clarity, like, do I make a change? Like I'm feeling like I should make a change and like needing that clarity. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, these days it's so uncertain for everybody, so I guess that would make sense that that would be one of those more common questions, I guess.
That's of right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. So, what else do you provide for your clients, and besides your normal services of oracle readings or intuitive readings? What else kind of services do you provide, or is that the main topics that you do?
So those are the two things I do. And in my psychic readings, I also offer like a month ahead spread or like one card pull. Like you don't have to do like a 3 card spread. It's not only, but I also do. I'm actually going to be offering an intuition, tapping into your intuition class next month. The month after that, I'm going to be offering a beginner's guide to reading oracle cards and using oracle cards. And I also do mediumship demonstrations every couple months. So that's over Zoom, and it would be a group of people. So you may or may not get a reading, but it's a cool way to witness the energy, the healing energy, and witness me delivering messages. And hopefully you can get one. So yeah, I do offer those as well.
Yeah, that's cool that you can actually offer that over Zoom as a different way of doing the readings. I think, especially still to do like a group reading also, so you have a bunch of people there participating.
Yeah.
Is that something that you like to do as well? Is to sort of teach how to do things, like how you teach other clients how to do things? Is it something that you've always done,
Yes.
or?
Yes, I noticed that my psychic downloads often give people a lot of tips. Like I know a lot of psychics just tell you what they're seeing for the future or for the now, but I often get a lot of tips on how to. My guides and my angels and like spirit often give me advice for the client. So I'm actually also in the works of making. It's going to be coming out in March. I'm at like a 6-week healing psychic program where you'd work with me. I'd get psychic reading every week, and I'd give homework on ways that you can implement things into your life to gain whatever you're trying to gain at this point in your life. Whether it's healing, whether it's um, advancement, whether it's like tapping more into your spirituality or anything. So I'm also going to be starting to offer programs as well. Yes.
That's cool that you have a passion for teaching and sort of sharing your abilities with other people too. Speaking more about your clients, can you recall anything that's happened between you and a client that really stood out? So there's like an experience that you'd like to share about one of your stories?
Well, I have a story that I always share about that I love because I often I'm very good at getting like the personality. So more than evidence, I really like embody the person's personality, and I can really feel who they were and what they were as a person. And that's like a very strong piece of evidence, for people. So there was this one, it's a friend of mine, but his mom had passed away and I never knew his mom or anything. And I said, your mom wants to say like rock on. But when I said rock on, I did the hang loose sign by accident. And he started laughing. And he goes, my mom always accidentally did the hang loose sign instead of the rock on sign. So it was like she embodied me and made me do it wrong, so that he could really feel her presence. Um, I've had lots of cool experiences, but I also recently had someone following me around for a few days, which was the first time that had happened. I had a male spirit with a top hat, and I was like, what? Normally, if they're going to follow me around the day before or the day of the reading, that's one thing, but I didn't have any readings booked for like 5 days. And I was like, who is this guy? So I came on my Instagram stories because I felt called to, and I trust my intuition. And I said, this is who I have. This is what he feels like. And someone reached out to me and said, I think that's my grandpa. And she actually lives in Australia. And so we actually connected, and I gave her like the message that he wanted to give, and it was her grandpa. But I thought that was wild that he found me to give her a message. It was pretty cool.
So you guys connected over Instagram to pass the message along? Like, was that the way it got started?
Then we met on Zoom, and then, but yeah.
No, that's cool. Really interesting. We had a guest recently on, I think from Nova Scotia, and she was talking about there's a couple entities out there actually that are called, one's the Black Hat Man, and he wears a black hat. So that's kind of who I thought you were talking about for a second there. But which would be a rare connection because we were talking about that in the recent show. So,
oh, interesting. Who knows? You know what? I just tapped into his energy and what he looked like. And she said that her grandpa, she's an aspiring medium also. And she said that her grandpa always comes in wearing a top hat and the energy connected. But then when I talked to her, I connected with her grandfather, but yeah, I haven't had any negative entities come to visit me yet. Knock on wood. Yeah. I hope that my mom's protecting me or something, because I haven't had negative energies yet. Yeah.
Good. No, as long as you protect yourself when you're doing your mediumship work, it's really important that you don't draw those negative energies in. But if you do, it's good to know how to deal with them as well if something happens. So hopefully you do have some guides that are sort of protecting you. Yeah. Yeah,
I feel like I do, because I have like very minimal, like I do like my little prayers and stuff and clearing, but like I don't have like a huge practice of like, and I've been lucky, and I feel like it's just maybe my guides are really protective over me.
Well, it could be because you're sort of new at it. You said you only be doing it for a year. So far seriously as a medium, so you're dealing with spirit directly for a year. And yeah, I can see maybe you're just not projecting your energy out there far enough for negative energies to come and attach to you. So that's probably a good thing so far. So hopefully you don't run into anything negative.
Yeah, I hope not.
So how has your overall journey been so far then? Has it been what you expected it to be? Has it been going the way you've hoped it has so far? Or what do you see going forward?
Well, yeah, it's been so many ups and downs, like because I had kids and I didn't focus like fully on it. But now that I'm like really like I like decided like this is what I'm doing, and I've really like embodied it. I'm really excited for this year because last year I was like slowly growing it, and now I'm consistently getting more and more clients every month, and it's exciting. Yeah, because I'm finally feel like I have a business now, and people are, because that's the hardest thing with these type of businesses is it's kind of like word of mouth, and it's just hard to get your name out there at first, and to get people to find you. And then once people start finding you, then it can start to transpire into like the business that you want, right? Yeah.
So where do you see it going in the future then? Do you plan on continuing this for the rest of your life kind of thing? Or is it something you hope will grow into a bigger business? Or
honestly, I hope so. I honestly hope that I'm going to be able to create lots of programs and collaborate with other people. I may do like collaboration programs with an astrologer that I know, and I may do something with someone who does EFT and NFT tapping and like hypnotherapy, and kind of like blend. So there's like different types of things, and then kind of make a program together for healing. I also hope that one day I can hold retreats, like spiritual retreats with like other people, collaborations, and like be able to, and I hope that one day I can start doing mediumship demonstrations at like a larger scale and in person, even though it is just as great over Zoom. I just hope that I can continue to build that, because I really love doing those group readings a lot. Mm-hmm.
Do you find it easier then when you do a group reading as compared to one-on-one? Do you think there's like
Oh, it's
easier to
definitely
get
harder.
more information coming in where there's more people, or is it harder to focus on just a single person?
I think it's more challenging, but for whatever reason, it's like so rewarding. But yeah, it is more challenging because there's so many spirits around, and I have to ask them to come one at a time, and I have to be like, you need to really make it clear who you're talking to. And last time I did one, actually, they made it hard for me, and no one was resonating with the spirit, but I trust spirit. So I actually was I singled someone out because there was only 5 people in the group that night, so it was easy for me to do that. But I singled someone out. I said, "This is for you," and then they unmuted, and then they're like, we started talking, and once I hear the voice and stuff, I can connect deeper. And then we figured out who it was for, and it was a great message. But it's like it can make it harder, but it can also be easier because sometimes some spirits who are quiet, some spirits who are new, some spirits who have never done it before, the amplified of the energy of all the other spirits can help them to communicate. So that's kind of cool. And I just like that everyone gets to witness everyone else's reading, and that like healing energy as a collective. I feel like people really like that, and I enjoy that as well.
Yeah, that way sort of everybody gets a little bit of beneficial energy out of it, out of the reading too. It's not just like a one focused
Yeah,
reading. You get to sort of
there's
sense everybody's reading.
for sure. There's usually some postcards too, like when there's little messages that might resonate with you, even if your loved one doesn't come through. It's like they're still here with me, and they're kind of giving a message that you both can hear. So it's really cool how they work. Yeah.
Linking back to what we were just talking about a little bit earlier, with spirits being a new spirit, say they just recently passed, is it harder to connect with that type of energy, especially if somebody comes for a reading and somebody just passed away, they want to communicate with that one person? Is it hard for you to connect with that one person if it's a new spirit?
Yeah, it can be. That's why group demonstrations are great for new spirits, because all the other spirits will help them. And usually I can always usually get a new spirit that way. But when someone comes to one-on-one, it's only going to be the spirits that are with that person. And like I said, the other day I had one where she had been only passed away for 2 months, and I was like, or 2 weeks, and I was so shocked because she came so strongly to me. Um, but then there are times where someone's been passed away for a year, and they're very quiet, and like I can tell when they come towards me that they're very like, I've never done this before, and like apprehensive. But usually they'll start to warm up once they hear their loved one like realizes it's them. Then they start to warm up and come closer. But yeah, it can be a little bit. It just makes my job a little bit more trickier.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I've always wondered too. If you're trying to communicate with one type of spirit that client is expecting you to contact, is it hard for you to kind of reach out and grab that one spirit? Or if they're not
Mhm.
willing to talk to you right away because they're new to this and they don't know what's going on and all that, like, is it
You know
hard
what?
to make that connection?
I'm very lucky because every single time that I've done a read, I usually say, I'll just see who comes, and if by the last 20 to 15 minutes, or depending on who's come through, and it's every reading's different, but at the end, if there is someone that you didn't hear from that you wanted to hear from, if you give me their name or the relationship, I can try to pull them through. Every time I've been able to. So I've been very lucky that I can do that. But I haven't had that problem yet. But I do have a reading this week with someone who is like a newly passed. I know they told me that it was their sister and that they passed very recently. So we'll see how it goes. But you know what? If I can't get them, I'll just give them a refund and we can try again. Because I understand, like, I can only do what the spirit does, right? So yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully that spirit will connect and you'll have a great reading
I
coming
hope
up.
so. I hope
um,
so.
well, thank you, Kayla, for being here. I really appreciate talking to you today and you sharing a little bit about your journey and what you do. So thank you so much for helping us out here today on Haunting Live and being our guest today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was great.
Yeah, wonderful to hear your stories. Is there anything that you want to sort of promote before we let you go today? How can people reach you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Readings by Kaila. Kaila is Kaila. Most people spell it with a Y, so I just thought I'd throw that out there. So yeah, Readings by Kaila, and then my website is also just readingsbykaila.com. So those are the two best ways to contact me: is my website or by Instagram, and I'm on Instagram a lot. I do lives, card pulls sometimes, and I am going to be offering the intuition class next month, and then the oracle card reading in March, and then my psychic program is going to also start in March if anyone's interested in that. And I'll probably be doing a demonstration in April. So yeah.
Is there a certain day or a certain time that you do those readings on Instagram that people can check out, or is it just random?
Usually it's random. Sometimes I'll give a little hint on my story, like, oh, I might come on tonight live to do some card pulls. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Sounds really interesting. Thank you very much for sharing your insight and your stories about your experiences with us today. I really appreciate you taking your time and talking to us here on Haunting Live today.
You're so welcome.
Thanks very much. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. And that was Kaila. She is Readings by Kaila, and you can find her on Instagram, or she has her website as well. So I recommend you guys go and check her out if you're interested in getting a reading done. And if you're in person, she is out in BC, so you can look her up as well. So she does Zoom and different things for readings. So check her out. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys also for being here. We are on YouTube right now, so thank you very much for all the recent subscribers to our channel. We really appreciate that. We are here each and every week with a brand new guest in the paranormal field and sharing what they do, talking about what they do. And usually it's on the mediumship topic, but it's anything really in the paranormal field that you guys want to listen to. If you want to be a guest on our show, don't forget you can always just contact us at our email address, which is hauntinglivepodcast@gmail.com, or check out our website at hauntinglivepodcast.com. Also on our website, we will recommend you guys check out our merch page. We have a lot of great items available for sale that we use in the paranormal field. Things like smudging materials, cleansing items, crystals, gift ideas, jewelry made from crystals, different handcrafted items as well. So we recommend you check out that if you're looking for anything spiritual for the paranormal. If you need cleansing materials or crystals for protection, we offer them on our merch page. Also, don't forget to check out our event page. We have some events coming up this year, hopefully, if some COVID rules relax a little bit by then. We will be having a public event this year, so keep your eye out for them. Tickets are on our site right now for the next public event, so check that out under HauntingLivePodcast.com. But if you miss our live show right here, you guys can check it out under the podcast apps. We are under Anchor.fm. We are also, just last year, been picked up by a broadcast company in Rhode Island, the Rhode Island Broadcasting Network, so you can check us out there on Wednesday nights as well. So we're very excited to be with them and help us get out there a little bit more. With that, guys, though, thank you so much for watching this week. Look forward to having you guys back here next week, Sundays at 4 o'clock for our new guest under Haunting Live Podcast. With that, guys, take care. Have a great rest of your weekend.
And began working with healing of the land, and because it felt like such a massive project, started teaching everyone who wanted to learn.
From childhood, I would see spirits, and I just felt like they were the extra people in my home. I had a hard time like sharing them. I grew up in the Bible Belt in South Carolina, and it's just not cool. Or it's frowned upon, it's demonic, or woo, scary.
I've always been a spooky kid. I love everything paranormal. I don't have a memory where I didn't believe in magic and the paranormal.
I use my intuitive abilities to help people identify their inner self. So have a deeper self-awareness. And through that, I'm able to help them see different perceptions and different belief systems that might be preventing them, exploring their journey.
This is creepy. I don't like it in here.
Hey, what's the matter with you?
Where did he go?
Wild. Put your soul into it. Wild.
around you.